Network Entertainment.
Now, where does that leave? Iba, yung mga owners na currently ng KTM at Husqvarna, which is a subsidiary brand ng KTM, and people like me who are thinking of buying their products.
Well, there's good news.
Okay.
Like we said earlier, Bajaj is a massive company.
Oh,
They're
Gigante
one of the biggest motorcycle manufacturers in the world. And they have distributors all over the world. KTM, Bajaj, and the future of Orange. What's next for PH riders?
Interesting to know. Saan na nga ba papunta? At nasaan na nga ba sa ngayon ang KTM Philippines? That's interesting to know.
All right. Welcome to Tunay na Rider, the podcast where we don't just talk about the machine. It's about the heart, the crew, the trip, and paminsan-minsan may brip. Iba here with
King Senko. Welcome to the show.
We're going to be talking about one of my favorite brands.
One of my favorite too. Pagka off-road bike, ito agad na sa isip ko.
In my riding life, I have owned 3 KTMs.
What are those?
The 990 Adventure, yung OG adventure bike.
Mm-hmm.
And the 790 Adventure. And 390 Duke.
Okay. In the past, ako naman, hindi ko pinagmayari pero matagal na sa akin.
Hindi mo lang sinusoli.
Oo. KTM 990 Super Duke, yung
Uy, sarap nun. Ganda ng balance nun.
Walang ABS, walang traction control. Bahala ka sa buhay mo bike.
May 690 rin ako, yung Gen 1.
Okay. 640 yata yun.
690.
Okay.
Duke.
Alright. Tsaka yung launch nung KTM 6 days, I was there.
SDE, 6-day enduro.
Yep.
So anyway, we know our favorite orange brand has come under a lot of challenges recently. Globally, as well as locally.
Tama. From the principal to the local distributor. may mga hurdles tong brand na to at interesting malaman nasa na nga ba sila?
Yeah.
Globally, iba. We already know na established na may pass of hands na to, di ba?
Pero how did we get there in the first place? That's the question. What happened, man? KTM at its peak in the Philippines.
Yeah. Lalo yung advent ng mga 390, di ba? Yan yung talagang putok sila ng sales.
When Tunay na Rider started, pare, we had the guys behind KTM Philippines here on the show. Sila Dino Santos.
Maynard, di ba? Yung mga yan.
They had manufacturing here.
We were once there sa planta nila, di ba?
Sobrang proud ako na one of the best bikes in the world
is made here.
Is made in the Philippines.
Alam mo, nagsimula yan 390 to na, 290 ba yung isa nila?
May 200.
200, yes, 200 tsaka 390. Later on, the big
790.
ones, 790 hanggang 890 yata ginawa na dito. So, what happened? Like, from peak, biglang...
And I think KTM isn't unique, no? When it comes to this.
Alin you mean by yung pass of ownership, pass of hands between conglomerates?
No. I mean, everybody knows that the big bike market is very challenged now.
Volatile, kumbaga.
Post-pandemic, there was... I guess we have to kind of go into the economics of the motorcycle business. So... Initially, we had a lot of supply chain challenges, right?
Kasi ang daming gusto bumili, wala nang maibenta, right?
Yes, because during the pandemic, trade and movement of parts slowed down tremendously.
On the contrary, dun sa kabilang side ng fence, ang mga tao walang magawa, gustong magmotor.
Yep. So what happened was because trade slowed down, yung mga manufacturers of all of the different parts that are required to go into a motorcycle,
Yeah.
naipit. So, hindi sila gumagawa. So, isipin mo, to simply put, no, one of the things that were impacted were the computer chips, the ICs that went into motorcycles.
Yeah.
Because biglang naghinto yung manufacturing. So, ikaw kung gumagawa, and you need 6 months to ramp up. All right?
Like mag-build ka lang ng stocks mo.
To start building anything, kailangan mo ng buwan bago rumampa yung planta to be the point where it can manufacture for you.
Okay.
Then biglang hininto mo. Walang buyer.
Yeah.
So the pandemic caused this huge drop in the flow of the parts that go into motorcycles. And at the same time, you're right, hindi ka makatravel.
Yeah.
Right? Hindi ka pwede mag-mall. Anong gagawin mo?
Wala. Magmotor. Bumili.
Pwede ka magmotor kasi pwede solo eh. 'Di ba? May social distancing sa ride eh.
Wala kang kasamang pasahero.
Yes. So, biglang nag-boom globally yung motorcycle market.
Yeah.
Bisikleta, motor.
Alam mo, yung ilan sa mga nagawa kong report na nung pandemic, ilan sa mga may scarce resource nung boom ng buying habit ng mga tao nung pandemic, the Rolex watches. Yung Trinity watches, basically, walang mabili nun. Either bibili ka napakamahal.
Yep.
Fishing equipment, pambihira. Yung mga fishing reels, mga ganon. Bicycle equipment and motorcycle at Land Cruiser sa sasakyan. Pambihira yan.
So
Walang
ngayon,
supply.
Ikaw yung brand, like KTM.
Yeah.
Nakita mo, ang dami. Sold out ka. All over the world.
Yep.
Diba? Nakapila yung mga tao.
Yep.
So, the demand peaked. And they thought that would last.
Forever.
Not forever, but way longer than it did.
Okay.
So, they increased manufacturing. They spent
Production.
more on producing.
Oo.
Right? And when you do that, usually sa negosyo, umuutang ka eh. Or may terms ka sa suppliers. May mga ganon.
Or you sell a part of the company para may investor ka.
No. I mean, it could be that. Honestly, yeah, you could sell, but they didn't. What they did was they bought, right? They bought and they spent.
Expand.
They
kumbaga.
even bought MV Agusta,
Oh, yeah. Oo nga. Tama. Yeah.
right? So what happens now is you've got your manufacturing, a lot of bikes, kasi feeling mo, nandun yung merkado eh.
Bigla naging higante sa
All in ka
manufacturing.
pare.
Yep.
All in yung KTM. In creating these beautiful bikes. Manufacturing in the Philippines. Manufacturing in China.
Yeah. China,
In the CF Moto plant.
China, Austria, Philippines, yan yung malalaki ng CF mo.
Manufacturing
ng KTM.
in India with Bajaj.
Yeah.
Okay. But the good times didn't stay good.
Ano ba yung nangyari? Ba't sila humantong dito sa gantong
Hindi sila
lubak?
nakakabenta pare. Kasi the demand disappeared.
Yep. Even yung yung used bikes market, sadsad ang presyo ng mga kahit anong big bike actually, regardless of the brand. Does that lead us to where KTM is right now? Totoo ba yung yung mga lumabas sa internet na
Well, they have billions in debt.
anong taon to?
The last year.
Okay.
Right? And before then, because all in ka, all in. Gawa ka ng gawa, di ba?
Yeah.
So, may utang sila sa suppliers nila. Yung gumagawa ng kadena, ng suspension. Well, sila rin yung WP eh. But you know what I mean? Kung may factory ka, may terms yan. Deliver mo, hindi naman kaliwaan yan eh.
Manpower pati, di ba?
So, the other challenge is a lot of their manufacturing is in Europe, Austria.
Yeah.
Which have very, very strict labor laws. So they from what I read, they had 1 year's supply of motorcycles. in their warehouse.
I think yun narinig ko, more than a year.
So, hindi na benta.
Yeah. Like, gumawa sila ng supply na tatagal sana ng, I think, 3 years. Yun nga yung narinig ko
So,
eh.
ito yung problem ng KTM Global.
Okay.
Before all of this hit the fan,
Mm.
what happened with our friends in Ayala, in
KTM BGC.
KTM Philippines, right? Well, KTM, let's call it KTM Ayala. They stopped their partnership with KTM.
Oo.
And marami mga chismis about why. One of them was that there was a global pivot
Oo.
to manufacturing in China in the CF Moto plant.
May mga chismis pang lumabas. Ito, chismis to disclaimer. Na hindi na raw ganun ka-rational kausap si principal.
And now it seems like maybe there's a little bit of
Truth to that.
truth to that because pare kung billion yung utang mo
Oo.
and then ang dami mong produkto sa bodega, baka iba na yung iniisip mo, 'di ba?
Oo.
So anyway, Ayala pulled out
Oo.
and nagbaksakan yung presyo ng KTM dito.
Yeah.
They were selling at 50% off. Actually, a few months before that happened, kausap ko na sila eh. Kasi gusto ko rin bumili ng Norden 901. Dream bike ko yun, pare.
May isa bang pumigil sa'yo doon na, wag muna.
Yung pumigil sa akin, si Toti. Kasi sabi niya, Norden, mag-Desert X ka na.
Okay.
Nung na-try ko yung Desert X, ibang-iba yung Desert X.
Ako naman, I'm lucky, Iba, na nagkaroon ako ng privilege to review both bikes. Kaya nung magde-decision na ako, parang, I think both bikes are excellent. Both bikes has this retro vibe adventure.
Yep.
Pero yung isa mas friendlier sa bulsa.
Yes. Lalo na when we were getting these massive deep cuts sa presyo. Okay, so and that shook the motorcycle world in the Philippines.
Alam mo ba?
Pero wala pang balita yung issues abroad.
Oo. Local pa lang to.
Pa lang to.
Alam nyo ba? I'm sure yung mga malilikot sa marketplace dyan makaka-relate dito. Nakakakita ako noon ng used bike. Let's say, 790 katulad nung sa'yo dati. Mas mahal pa yung used kesa dun sa 50%.
Yes,
Pambira.
yes. So, that happened. And then now, you had a couple of months where may chismis that the BMW group, RSA group,
is interested
was
to
interested in
distribute.
KTM, and then may chismis that
Even in the global yung principal level, I think BMW had an interest
yes,
with the brand. Kasi naalala mo, may Husqvarna Terra, di ba? Parang ano yan may partnership.
Yep.
BMW.
And then BMW sold Husqvarna to BMW. To KTM.
Oh.
Then we also had chismis that sila Willie Titen
Is interested in distributing.
Oo. And there's a lot of chismis going around. And then a few months later, we find out that our friends in the Borromeo group, sila Dan Abelarde, the guys behind Royal Enfield got it.
They were able to secure, kumbaga, yung local distributorship.
Yes. And before they could launch, I think then a couple of months after they announced that, doon lumalabas na yung balita.
Oo. Nakakatuwa lang, Iba, kasi sa Makina Moto Show recently, isa sa may pinakamagandang boot yung KTM at Husqvarna eh. Nilaunch nila dun yung 1390 na halimaw na Duke, di ba? May mga events sila dito sa Quezon City. Pambihira. Nilaunch nila yung
sobrang excited ako doon, yung 390 Adventure.
Yeah. Yung bagong
rally?
Yung bagong muka.
Oo.
Pretty much, yeah.
You know, that bike came straight from EICMA pa.
Oo.
So, well, what's sad is, all of that, pinaghirapan nila Lucky Mappy yun. Matindi, well, if the chismis is correct, matindi yung kalaban nila. All heavy hitters.
Yeah.
But they were able to get it.
Tsaka yung marketing effort, like into Makina, di ba?
They hired people. Yeah. They have an office. They invested a lot.
The Borromeo Group, yep.
In the brand. But then, lumabas na yung balita, KTM bankruptcy, wala silang pera pang bayad sa empleyado, sa suppliers. I can only imagine how our friends in Lucky Mappy and that group were feeling. And it was in limbo for months. But even before then, rewind to before Ayala, they had a partner in India.
Bajaj.
Yun. And I think Bajaj owned 48%.
Wow, okay. Malaki yun.
Malaki yun.
Halos-
But hindi pa majority.
Hindi ka pa majority kasi obviously 48. Pero what happened with the shares?
Well, no. What happened when Bajaj invested in KTM, they moved their manufacturing to India.
Kaya dumami yung mga 200 tsaka
Yeah,
390.
the 390. And then that's kind of, pinsan nila sila Dominar.
Yeah.
Diba? Yung mga, ang daming matinong Bajaj bikes.
TVS yung parang pinaka head-to-head nila ngayon. dun.
Oo.
Yeah.
And Bajaj is one of the biggest manufacturers in the
In the
world.
whole world,
Yep,
yeah.
yep. So, ang daming balita, Red Bull was gonna bail them out, ang daming chismis kung sino, until finally months later, si Bajaj stepped in.
Okay.
And that's where we are now. Bajaj is now on its way. I don't know, and hindi pa yata na-release, that Bajaj is basically gonna be majority owner. Now, over 49%.
Okay. Apart from Bajaj and the KTM from Austria, sino-sino pa bang nandito sa pie na to? If we're looking at a pie.
Marami yan.
Okay.
Maraming investors yan. But when we're talking about 48%, and then they're moving up, they will have a super majority.
Oh, sila na yung basically may control ngayon sa brand.
Okay. So what happens now to KTM Philippines?
Hi, guys. We are the Eavesdrop Podcast. My name is Francesca.
My name is Jelly.
This is Delamar.
This is Jude. What's up?
Yeah, and we are inviting you to check us out, your fellow TPN podcast.
And if you want to learn more about life, what's happening around us, you want to know about love, healing, this is the podcast you should be listening to.
Eavesdrop, 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 eavesdrop. Sometimes we get drunk and do the show. Those are the fun ones.
Like today,
Ooh, why? Who's drunk?
Like right now.
you're red as a bug.
Am I? Eavesdrop, please catch it. 4 hosts going crazy. You'll have fun. You'll cry. Everything else. So please check it out. The Eavesdrop.
Only on the Pod Network.
Local distributorship tayo ngayon. Kamakailan, yung mga kaibigan natin sa Lucky Mappy, nag-announce na until this date na lang pala, yung kanilang distributorship locally.
I was really bummed out. And I was kind of stressed out for them. And then nakita natin finally.
Oo. That's what's been happening in the background
Na
pala.
nag-post sila Dan, na it was a great ride. A short ride, but a great ride nonetheless.
Knowing pa itong mga taong to, talagang even before the KTM distributorship, KTM users talaga sila. Right?
Oh yeah, these guys love orange.
Ako, nalulungkot ako dyan, Iba, on a personal note. Kasi, nung nagbagsakan yung presyo when the Ayala KTM kinda dropped the brand, medyo hindi ako na-entice dun sa 50% eh. Kasi I was really fixated on other gastos like yung project ko, yung sasakyan ko. Pero recently, when Lucky Mappy had the brand, na-peak yung interest ko eh. Like from saving up for a Harley Davidson, bigla ako nag-shift. Sabi ko, Norden na. Kasi I got the privilege to review the Ducati Desert X, the Norden, yung mga retro-styled na adventure bike. And I think with my financial capability and my riding style, the Norden would really fit me. Now, where does that leave? Iba, yung mga owners na currently ng KTM at Husqvarna, which is a subsidiary brand ng KTM, and people like me who are thinking of buying their products.
Well, there's good news.
Okay.
Like we said earlier, Bajaj is a massive company.
Oo.
They're
Gigante to.
Gigante, one of the biggest motorcycle manufacturers in the world. And they have distributors all over the world. And yun ang challenge eh. And why our friends at Lucky Mappy and the Borromeo Group, I think, had to bow out. Kasi malakas na yung Bajaj dito sa Pilipinas eh. May dealerships na sila all over the Philippines.
Okay, question. Ito, genuinely di ko alam to Sinong nagdi-distribute ng Bajaj dito? At itutuloy kaya nilang mag-distribute na rin ng KTM?
Okay. That's a great question. Because hindi ko rin alam. And what does that mean? That means Bajaj is really, really strong in the business and mass market.
Pan-tricycle, di
Oo,
ba?
malakas na malakas yun.
Yung mga tuk-tuk, ganyan.
Yes,
dami
yes.
niyan. Sa Tagaytay, dami niyan.
And yung mga affordable na
Pan-tricycle.
na scooter, 'di ba? Yung parang yung may board, malaki yung board,
TVS,
TVS
XL,
pala yun.
yun.
TVS yun. But anyway, they're really, really strong in the affordable market.
Oo.
But wala silang experience in the premium market.
Yung malalaki, big bikes.
Yes.
Wait lang. Si KTM ba, may MotoGP team sila?
Yes.
Meron, oo nga.
It almost shut down. Pero tuloy pa rin yung funding because they know
Race.
yung moto ni KTM is ready to race. Their internal slogan is
tagline yun. Oo.
win on Sunday, sell on Monday.
Oo, parang Ferrari.
So, what's gonna happen to local owners? Well, again, the good news is we know that hindi sila papabayaan. Because Bajaj is a massive company. They've got dealers all over the world. They've got dealers all over the Philippines. Right? But will Bajaj be able to transcend and evolve from affordable business and mass transport motorcycles into maintaining and creating and supporting and growing a premium brand?
Premium
A
performance motorcycle.
premium brand.
Oh.
Walang Bajaj MotoGP team. Di ba? Walang Bajaj
Wala.
Enduro.
Wala.
That's a totally different market.
Oo.
So that's where we leave it. That is the question.
Okay. May KTM ka pa ba?
Wala na.
Okay. Kung ikaw ay may-ari ng KTM ngayon, nasiraan ka ng pyesa, like yung mga big ticket consumables mo, like, ba usually, nag-overheat ka, let's say, sa trail. Yung mga pang-repair ng internals mo, piston rings, ganyan, pistons, connecting rods, may mabibili ka pa kaya? At kanino ka nabibili ngayon?
Well, the beauty of a connected world, it's super easy to find these parts. It's super easy to find.
Ship from Hong Kong, ship from Japan.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then because KTM was manufactured in the Philippines, you've got some great mechanics out there. You've got a lot of dealers all over the Philippines.
Si Buck. Di ba?
Yeah,
Nagbubukas
si
ng
Buck.
KTM yun.
Ang daming marunong.
Oo.
Pero, wala kang kasa support.
Yun lang, no? Yun yung mawawala sa'yo sa ngayon.
Sa ngayon. And hindi pa clear what's gonna happen. And that this takes time. This takes time to build out showrooms, to train mechanics, to bring in the parts, to bring in the bikes. So if you own a KTM and you bought one recently, or any owner of a KTM, I don't think you should be concerned. It's gonna be a stressful maybe 6 months to a year. But I think after that, it should stabilize. You've got a massive company like Bajaj behind it.
Okay, medyo may strong editorial question ako, Iba. Gusto ko sagutin mo to kasi nagkaroon ka ng mga brand na to eh. BMW, KTM, Ducati, Aprilia, di ba yan yung parang mga head-to-head in terms of performance. Do you think that with all the circus ng business side ng KTM, nabawasan ba yung edge nila versus these head-to-head competitors nila?
Well, nabawasan because hindi sila makakabenta. Right? Wala silang dealer. So basically, you're throwing away a year of the ability to sell.
And to have R&D.
Well, the R&D arguably is still there with the racing team and nandun pa rin sila sa Dakar, nandun pa rin sila sa MotoGP. But you've wasted 1 year. And it's not just 1 year of selling. It's 1 year of community building.
Kasi
it's 1 year of delighting customers.
Kasi maraming nag-aalala na nagbebenta na.
Imagine, wala kang support for more than a year, right?
Yeah.
Nasa limbo ka for more than a year. It's 1 year of bleeding customers.
Imagine meron kang older 990 Adventure o 990 Super Duke nasiraan ng major, 'di ba parang
Ay hindi, yung mga may-ari ng mga 990 sanay na nasisiraan 'yon. And then kaya na nilang gawin.
Kasi
yung
order.
masakit, yung mga 890, yung mga bago. Kasi high-tech na mga yun eh.
Oo.
Yung mga 990, yung mga 950, yung mga ganon, yung katulad ng bike ko dati, kahit saan mo pwede pagawa yun.
Okay. Another question is, tingin mo with the Bajaj, ito wala na sa script to obviously, with the Bajaj stepping in as their sort of majority, tingin mo dadami yung mga affordable KTMs, like in terms of displacement, yung 390 segment, dadami ba yan? Yung mga 200 segment, dadami ba yan? Or even smaller? Kasi expertise ng majority nila ngayon yan eh.
Okay. Kung ikaw sabihin natin ikaw si Jollibee.
Okay.
Marami silang biniling brand. Pero halimbawa hindi, i-maintain mo sa loob ng Jollibee. Ikaw si Jollibee and you buy, let's say, yung pang Christmas party. Yung pang birthday party na sa opisina, yung pansit, may... Amber. Oh,
Okay.
Ikaw si Jollibee. Binili mo si Amber.
Okay.
'Di ba? Anong gagawin mo? Lahat ng mga Amber branches, magbebenta ka ba ng Chicken Joy? Or lahat ng mga Jollibee branches, magbebenta ka ng pang-corporate party na Amber na ano?
Well,
ano yung una?
Okay. If I were a legacy brand, let's consider KTM a legacy brand. Kasi di ba, higante to eh. O Jollibee analogy, I'd keep doing what I do with Jollibee. I'd keep doing what I'm doing with what Ambers are doing with their product. Kasi pag binago mo yun, di ba, parang makukulture shock yung market ngayon.
So yun ang sagot. Kasi yung skill set mo bilang Jollibee or Bajaj is really the affordable market.
Okay.
Right? You need to build the capability to... And you're buying the R&D guys, you're buying the engineers, you're buying the technology.
Yung
Pero
business
initially, I think you're gonna have a strong push in the 390 market. And then I would say like the 1390 and the Super Adventures, that will no longer be as big as a priority for you. And then maybe 890 will be your sweet spot.
Yan yung kaya ng marami.
And I think that makes sense because look at what's in the market now that's selling. And KTM could have dominated it because they had the Duke 390 platform. What's dominating the market are quality mid-sized bikes. And when the 450 MT launched, and even before that, the Himalayan 400, right? They sold like gangbusters because people wanted that. The market wanted that.
Oo.
And everybody wanted a mid-sized adventure bike from KTM.
Like maraming aangas-angasan dyan na dapat 1,200, dapat 1,000. Pero
but
usable talaga eh.
But the mid-size KTM that they released Yeah. Right? It was a Duke 390 na pinatangkad mo konti. Parang hindi pinag-isipan because they were focusing their research, their R&D, and their money in the big bikes.
Which,
Hindi nila prioritize yung mid-market. And that made it easy for CF Moto, Royal Enfield to come in and take that away. When it was KTM could have dominated.
kumbaga, KTM nga yun nauna dun sa, ano na yun sa playing field na yun na-overtaken pa sila. Actually, yan yung dahilan, Iba, kaya yung 450 BMW GS na nakita natin sa EICMA is really, really hotly anticipated kasi yun yung bumebenta talaga, kayang bilhin ng maraming tao, and in the Philippines case, you're above the 400cc limit ng mga expressway natin, di ba? Accessible.
So anyway, to wrap this all up, if you own a KTM, should you be concerned?
Should you be worried?
Should you be worried? I think in the short term, you're gonna have to find alternatives. In the long term, not at all. By the way, King, may balita tayo. Magbabago na yung tunay na rider.
Oo nga. Alam nyo ba na huling 2 linggo na ng tunay na rider sa ating kasalukuyang...
This is the end of tunay na rider on Thursdays.
Oo.
Alam mo bakit?
Bakit?
Mabait tayo Si Ivan, yung producer natin, malayo yung bahay niya. Cavite pa.
Taga Cavite pa siya.
So, we changed our schedule for him.
Hindi. Tsaka bukod dyan, magiging Tuesday na tayo, FYI. Same time, same place, pero magiging Tuesday lang.
Ito yung Tunay na Rider live stream.
Yes. Why? Our team here, tinignan namin yung viewing habit ng mga audience nyo, ng mga nanonood. Nalaman namin na Tuesday is a good way to experiment sa schedule ng tunay na rider para mas maraming makanood.
Dahil kay Ivan talaga to. Kasi mabait kami.
Oo, isa na rin yun. So, starting August 12, ina-announce na po namin, you've heard it here, na ang tunay na rider will be in the same time, same place, pero every Tuesdays na.
Yan. All right. So, again, if you love KTM, I think it's good news for KTM, but it's going to be painful in the short term. And if you bleed orange, you're gonna bleed orange a bit more for a few more months until there's more clarity. Hanggang mas malinaw yung daan. And that wraps up this episode of Tunay na Rider.
And it will be interesting na mag-guest natin dito kung sino man yung magiging next distributor ng KTM.
Pakilala ka na. Reach out. We'd love to talk to the Bajaj peeps. We don't know them. That wraps up this episode of Tunay na Rider. Tandaan, hindi lang sa bilis nasusukat ang rider. It's how you ride, who you ride with, and why you ride. Kita-kit sa kalsada, ride smart, ride safe, ride tunay, maybe not KTM for a year.
Save nyo yan. May pagkasa pa. Yan, over and out.
The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.